social media is great. Technology is great, once again, to free you up. But if it's not freeing you up to get belly to belly, face to face, then you're kind of missing the mark because that's still the requirement.
What's the deal with all those old school real estate agents teaching outdated marketing techniques and living in the past? This show is about fresh ideas in real estate, diving deep into marketing, design, home renovations, and business development. But we also talk about lifestyle, health, travel, and just living an incredible life. Because the fastest way to financial freedom and fun is through real estate. It's time to build up your real estate business, serve way more clients, and have a blast doing it. What's up, guys? It's Seth Struxma with the One Group at Compass. We're over here in our new Venture Escrow studio today, and we're here with my sales manager, Sean Purcell. Sean and I have known each other for a couple of years now, and we're going to dive deep into a couple really high-level topics, mainly about mindset, some tried and true methods that real estate agents can use in the market right now, and then really how Compass agents can utilize the platform and really what Compass offers to make agents excel this year. So, Sean Purcell, thanks for coming on the show.
It's an honor. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So,
looking forward to it.
Honestly, tell us kind of how you got into Compass and how it's been going, and we'll just dive in after that.
Actually, my wife and I had our own brokerage for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
And Compass came in and, had the conversation and made us an offer we couldn't refuse.
Well, I had no idea that you had the background in real estate like that. Did you work somewhere else before? I thought
I was a productivity coach at Keller Williams years ago.
Okay.
I've been in real estate over 30 years now.
Wow.
Started when I was 5. But we saw what they had, and actually the conversation my wife and I had, my wife Lisa Lozoya, been in the business a long time also.
Wow. Okay.
Look, right now this industry is in a huge battle. FinTech and all the stuff that's going on online. And when the dust settles, there's not going to be that many firms left. Mm-hmm. And Compass is one of them, and we better get aligned with somebody who's looking out for agents in the future. Mm-hmm. And that's how we ended up here.
I see. That was like your wife and yours mindset, like, as we're moving into some sort of gray area,
yep,
let's get aligned with a company who's really knows their shit.
Who knows that technology is the future of being a good agent.
Yeah. No, and I mean, Compass has been great for the past couple of years for me. So.
Number one again.
I love it. I know. Yeah, we're number one in San Diego in almost all aspects, right?
Yeah. We just did that in the sales meeting. It was like 8 slides that said number one.
I mean,
it's amazing.
That's really amazing. And in several other markets too, which is awesome.
Yeah, all the way up and down the county. And we've only been here 5-6 years.
Yeah. That's
but amazing. So we came over, we brought our firm over, and then Liz, who's our regional vice president, she met me and saw, my thing's always been coaching. Even when we had our own brokerage, I was coaching and the broker. And she actually said, listen, I want you to come be the manager of our Mission Valley office. And I said, I don't want to be a manager, I don't want to manage. I like people. She said, no. Compass is set up differently. You don't do any of that. You don't recruit, and you don't do the books, and I'm just going to give you 200 more people to coach.
Wow.
I said, I'm in. Where do I sign?
So you have a background in coaching. So, I mean, just to kind of understand a little bit more, what was that like? What did you do as far as the coaching aspect?
Right. So my degree is in psychology.
Oh,
I graduated from Princeton, degree in psychology. My goal was to coach the most highest performing athletes in the world. I was trying to make the Olympic team at the time, shot put. And I put it out to the universe. When I'm done, I'm going to get my doctorate, and I'm going to work with top performing athletes and people like that. And I took time off to try to make the Olympics, and my dad was retired doing real estate. I said, I'll just do that for a little while with him.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. But the universe is a funny thing. Be careful what you put out there. Because here I am coaching just like I thought I would be. It's just that the universe doesn't spell well. I said athlete, and the universe said agent. But they're top producing, high quality people. So it's
still a high performing, not athlete, but agent.
But agent, right.
Which is equally necessary for coaching. So.
Being an agent, especially in real estate, is a lot like being an athlete.
Yeah.
The work that's required, the fact that you're surrounded by a team, but it's on you.
The mindset.
I
mean, that's the biggest one, which kind of jumps us into the first topic. Mm-hmm. Just with the start of the new year, with kind of the year that we had in 2023,
right.
Rates are predicted to go down. And with the rates predicted to go down, and with kind of the mindset of I mean, you tell me, but I feel like the market's kind of becoming a little bit more optimistic and people are starting to kind of come out of the woodwork. Yeah. How would you say agents can take advantage of this newfound optimism and potential now with rates going down?
I think agents should heed exactly what you're saying. Barring something unforeseen, we're going to see rates go down at some point in the year, and all that pent-up demand is going to come into the market. The key right now is to get all your ducks in a row. Make sure your CRM is set up. Make sure all your tools are set up. Especially if we have an early spring, which I think we might.
What do you mean early spring?
Normally, and I know you know this, but our business cycles up in the spring, does pretty well in the summer, starts to fall off a little. But we may see this in February rather than April, depending on when rates move.
Yeah, it's happening now. It's happening right now.
You're feeling the energy.
Yeah.
When that starts, if you don't have all your tools together, your business plan together, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be playing catch up all year again, and like we did a few years ago, and that's no way to run a business.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I mean, it's just starting with like the CRM. That's like the basic level thing. It's just clean that up,
right,
and stay in touch. Set up the systems, like you said, like an action plan. With Compass, we have basically like a step-by-step action plan that you can, set reminders for yourself. Many agents have CRMs that can do that. So,
hey, you don't have to have hours necessarily, but you need to go through and clean up your database.
Yeah.
A lot of us have, names in there from 3 years ago from an open house.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't know who that is, and that's okay. Tag them for what they are. Mm-hmm. But you're going to need, as you're talking to people, to be able to move them directly into that CRM, turn on an action plan that's clean, and let the tool do the work for you.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much technology now that can actually just maybe automate a lot of it for you, but you're still the voice, you're still the personality, you're still the person helping people. So tech can't be fully in charge.
No, we want tech to make that more at the forefront. Mm-hmm. Tech can do a lot of things. What tech can't be is Seth.
Yeah.
No one can sit across from a table from a client or a potential client and be you except you. Mm-hmm. Almost everything else someone or something can do. Mm-hmm. So we need to use our tech and admins and buyers, anyone we can get to do all the things that aren't you being you. That's irreplaceable.
That's really good. Wow. I mean, this all sounds like maybe someone can be easily set off track sometimes. I feel like some people can get all gung-ho in the beginning. Oh, I cleaned up my CRM. Oh, I did all this. But then January ends and February and March come, and it's like, how would you suggest to agents to stay on track and keep the momentum going for the year?
This is probably going to be a recurring answer, but it's your calendar.
Yeah.
If you will live your calendar, everything you want will happen. When we sit down and do a business plan, we take the goals, we reverse engineer into activities. The activities go on a calendar. Mm-hmm. Follow the calendar. That's it.
Yeah, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. So is there time in your calendar, weekly if not daily, to work in your CRM for 30 minutes? If you're doing that regularly, you won't have those problems. Mm-hmm. If you wait 2 months, it becomes one of those, this is too big a problem to solve, and then we're just running again.
So basically just penciling in or putting in your calendar incremental times to just kind of work on the business, maybe to stay on track, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
the dollar productive activity, the activity that's you, Seth, being you, an hour or two a day. This really isn't a business that requires 8 hours of your time. It requires 2 hours of you being on. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is handling escrows and negotiations and getting ready for open houses and working on your business in your CRM. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be that hard for us to organize that.
You're right. There is very few, I wouldn't say very few, but there's few things that really take you to do it. And that's one. It's your database and really connecting with people and connecting with clients. That's a you thing, an only you thing.
Right.
You know? So,
well, and we watch agents, none that are listening to this, I'm sure, but we watch agents try to move everything to social, where it doesn't have to be them anymore. Mm-hmm. Social media is great. Technology is great, once again, to free you up. But if it's not freeing you up to get belly to belly, face to face, then you're kind of missing the mark, because that's still the requirement.
Yeah. I think a lot of people
who are on social media will just kind of post, but don't actually expose who they are. So they don't, other people who are following don't actually know, like, and trust them. They're just like, wow, this person just posts a lot of houses. I don't know who Sean is. Like, it's this guy who just posts a bunch of houses. I don't know who he is. I mean, that's what I found in my business is that social media, yes, I'll post about work, but I post about my vacations, my dog, you know, my relationships, my friendships, everything. And so people actually know who I am. But yeah, there's a heavy emphasis on work too.
How can you trust someone that you don't know?
Exactly.
If you're going to use social media, you have to let them know who you are. Part of that, I don't know if you're familiar with DISC system. Probably a number of our listeners have a basic idea. Most people in sales are a high I. They're people related. If you're not, and I happen to not be, naturally I'm an off the chart D, which isn't great for sales. And you try to be the thing you think you're supposed to be. And people can sense it. They may not be able to say exactly what's wrong, but they know there's something not quite authentic. If you'll embrace who you are, when I finally started embracing who I was and doing ads that said, listen, I'm not going to be your best friend. I'm not going to come to your barbecues. I'm here because I can negotiate like a son of a, and I'll get the deal done for you. And if that's what you're looking for, you should call me. And if you need a friend, I'll get you a puppy. There's a percentage of the population that's way more than I could ever help that will relate to that. You have to first know who you are and accept that and stop trying to be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
Which goes to your social media. You show them who you are.
Yeah. Know your tribe. I mean, not everyone's going to like you.
Right.
Not everyone's going to want to work with you. Know your tribe. What's it called? Something about where your tribe, I don't know how it is, but basically you cultivate a tribe and then that's who you're going to work with. You don't need to work with everybody. Not
only that, but now you'll enjoy your work more.
Yeah.
It's not just people who like you, but by nature, you're going to like them. I might as well go to, this is not an easy job, right? There's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges. I might as well be working with and for someone that I really enjoy, which is that's a whole separate workshop we do on creating your client avatar.
Yeah. Yeah. I could go in a whole episode talking about that. But I think a lot of agents who, when they're starting, they're kind of just getting whatever they can get. And then they learn over time, oh, this is my clientele base.
Right.
You know, and I know when I first started, I was like, I will take whatever I can get. And I learned who I can really work with well. And, you know, to this day, those are my favorite people to work with. And I love it.
And they're your best repeat customers, I'm sure.
Totally. They are my biggest fans. You know, they're always supporting me in every way I can. So I love it. And I think every agent will learn who that is over time. But being able to do that is amazing.
The more you have an idea who your tribe is, it's like target marketing.
Yeah,
if I can speak the language that you speak naturally, we're just going to have a lot more business.
Yep. I mean, that's true in marketing too. Like when we do anything marketing, we determine what's the message that we want to convey and who's going to receive the message, who's going to hear it, and who's going to actually receive it and say, oh, I relate to that guy. You know?
Right.
Some people are going to write the same thing, but they're going to say it a different way and they're going to be a different way. And I mean, that message will be received totally different from a different person.
And that really should be the goal. When we write this marketing piece, who do we want to hear it and respond to it? If you're trying to write to everybody, you're writing to nobody.
Yep.
And you continue to chase.
Yep.
There's something I really enjoy talking to agents about regarding farms. A lot of agents have geographic farms. We've had them forever, and they work, right? It's what we call a pension in real estate. If you do it long enough, it's going to pay off. But for those who are just starting, the issue I have with a farm is that the only thing those people have in common is a zip code. It's not target marketing. It's so much easier to talk to only people who have a 2-story home and have lived in it for at least 15 years. I know what I'm saying to them. Or out-of-state owners, or if you can pick more of a theme, then like you said, you're going to write marketing that appeals to them, which means higher conversion.
This is really good. We should dive into this more. So I've never really done a farm before. I think there's different ways to do a farm. There's direct mail, but there's also a digital method as well that I've done before, actually. We've done it for several years. But I love what you're saying about find that demographic, that seller, that buyer, and speak to them and know what they want to hear and how to speak to them.
Right, what they want to hear and what they will hear. Sometimes we just don't hear. So once you start exploring that, you realize there's not just geographic farms. There's what we call vertical farms, right? I know someone in that business, and that's my in. And everyone in that business, from the president to the person in the mailroom, vertically, I understand what they're about, and I can write for them, and I'm going to go in and get that business. There's horizontal farms, police officers, notoriously closed group, very hard to break into. Trust level is very low with police officers. If you get in, though, you can speak to them, their language. Police officers from different cities, different locations. Horizontally, you're going to be able to break into that farm. That's a farm that has a much more targeted message.
This is really good. This is really, really good.
I'm going to share one more with you that I can't get enough people, I think, to adopt. Mini farms.
Okay.
Every time you, Seth, go and do a listing in an area that you like, of course, if it's an area where I'm glad to do this, but I don't want any more business here, which happens, right?
Yeah, it does happen.
But this is an area you like. You will spend a lot of money and a lot of time marketing to 200 homes around that listing.
So that's what a mini farm is, just basically 200 listings around a listing that you liked.
Right. Well, we don't call it a farm yet, right? You just do it because you're trying to get business in that area while you have this listing.
Okay.
You'll spend your time, you'll spend your money. We just listed this. We just put this in escrow. We just sold this. And then we pack up and leave.
Yeah.
We've already done the heavy lifting. Why not maintain that 150 to 200 homes? They have a personality. They have a local library, a local school. I can speak to them the way I can't speak to a 5,000 home farm. And then just keep adding on. I'd rather have 10 150 home mini farms than one 1,500 home farm with nothing in common.
Yeah.
Especially when you've spent the money and time already.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sam, we need to do this.
Hey there, if you like this episode or want a real estate connection in San Diego, find me on Instagram and subscribe so you don't miss any of these fun episodes. See you next time.